there's a lot of people who have this perception that, oh my gosh, dating is just harder than ever. The mating market has gotten so bad. And it's like, mate, when was it ever easy? I mean, for all of human history and mammalian history more generally, there's been a subset of males, right? A subset of male mammals. In some species, that it's the norm that, most males don't reproduce. In our species, that's not the norm, right? There have been periods of time where it seems that's been the case. But for the most part, I mean, mate competition is the hardest competition. And so a lot of people, they're saying like, oh, dating is harder than it's ever been. And it's like, but you've only dated in the present. How do you know? How can you compare it to the past? It's like, yeah, it's hard. Yes, it's very hard. But I don't think it was ever easy. And I think that that's a strange expectation people have. I mean, look, there are probably some things that are more difficult and made more difficult by, these online technologies. But then there are also probably some things that are made easier, right? So for example, from a globalization perspective, and I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here. I really do understand these critiques of just the current dating perspective. But think about in terms of finding someone who's maximally compatible with you emotionally, right? In a hunter-gatherer setting, right, which is where we spent most of human evolution. I mean, people often go back 100 years, but why not go further? It's like most of human evolution, we were in these hunter-gatherer groups, right?
Yeah.
How many women would you know? How many, right? I mean, not that many.
Yeah, no,
right?
not at all.
How many women would you know who are in your age range? Not that many, right? How many women would you know that are in your age range and single, right? Again, not that many. And when you cut it down, what's the final tally of like potential people that you could marry and reproduce with? It's probably a very low number. And the odds that they are, in your upper echelon objectively in terms of compatibility, attraction, that sort of thing, I genuinely don't know how good of I don't know how good of a situation that is, right? I'm in some ways quite grateful for the idea that it's like, today you can have a really good shot at meeting someone who is genuinely up to your standards across multiple criteria instead of just being, the person who happened to be there.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
If they could take that one away, that's good. Because again, it's always, there's always going to be a bias within your mind. The human brain's always good at finding a reason why it's so hard in this situation.
And then also if dating apps are destroying the mating market, what percentage of men and women are actually on dating apps? I don't have the statistics memorized, but I would be surprised. I'm sure that I wouldn't be surprised if a huge portion of people have used them. But in terms of what percentage of men and women are actively using dating apps, I'm actually going to bet that it's let's say a substantial minority.
It would be a very low number.